Very good afternoon and good day. This is Bipin Bargwai from Dubai Sharjah, and today we will have a very practical discussion about project manager, the role, the project manager, the task, the responsibility on which we do have a newcomer, we have an experienced person, very experienced person who has been with project management for so and so, project management deliverables in technology domain, various domains of technology, various domains of non-technology, in constructions, in MEP, all of those various verticals where the project manager role plays a very pivotal responsibility in order to execute and complete the project deliverables on time for the companies. This particular role is a very, very important role for any company, and this role, in most of the time when the hiring happens, the hiring managers and the hiring consultants or the HR, not all of them, but some of them who do not have a very clear understanding about how this role actually plays around within an organization. Project manager is not a technical role. Project manager is a management role, it's a coordination role, and technology, knowledge of certain technologies, knowledge of certain non-technical departments or verticals is just an add-on to the project manager's overall responsibilities. But what are the core responsibility that a project manager ensures that the projects are getting successful? And this is where the project manager is a container role. It is a container role that I am going to speak about in today's session. And this is applicable for technology, this is applicable for non-technology, it is applicable for MEP, it is applicable for constructions, right? So let's go ahead and start. Now when we speak about a project manager, if I start with the technology segment of it. Say your company is hiring a project manager, and this is for technology, right? This is for technology domain. Now various kind of technology, whether you call it as IT, whether you call it as some mechanical, some electromechanical, some electrical, but this is all related to technology, right? So a project manager is being hired by your company, and say for example you have 3 different projects in your company. The first project is related to SAP. The first project is related to SAP. I'll just write it a little bit bigger so that you understand that. The second project is about a infrastructure designing, say for example a data center. A data center setup. The second objective or second project that you have, a data center setup. And the third project is about, say, IT security. You are implementing a security operation center within the company. So in the first, so there are 3 projects, project 1, project 2 and project 3. So in first project is the same company, you are deploying SAP as your backend ERP. So SAP you are deploying. In the second project you are upgrading or maybe building a completely new data center on site, so data center setup. And the third project you are also parallelly bringing up your IT security operation center, right? So these are all 3 different separate verticals. One is technology, another one is technology, and one is this middle one, which is data center setup, is a composition of technology and as well as non-technology deliverables, because you have to also work with construction teams to ensure that the respective data center is being built accordingly, and then on top of that the technical component like servers and those rest of the things will come in, right? So for all these 3 projects your company has hired 3 different headcount, which is 3 different project manager, you have hired, right? So in the first project manager, your HR has gone ahead and identified, interviewed someone who is having previous experience with SAP project deployment. So that person, whether that is he or she, knows about SAP, how it is being deployed, right? SAP components and all, various components. That person has deployed earlier. So your company have hired a project manager for that SAP project. Then your company have hired another project manager, a separate person altogether, who has experience on data center deployment earlier. So you have gone ahead and hired this person who is data center, deployment expert, who has done data center deployment earlier as a project manager. The third project, you have hired another project manager, 3 headcounts. The third headcount, which is of course the full time, that project manager you have hired from the IT security domain, who have experience on deploying security operations center earlier. So you basically have gone ahead for 3 different projects in your technical vertical. You have hired 3 different project managers having experience on that technology and on that work domain, I would say. On that work domain, you have gone ahead and hired 3 headcount. Not bad. This is what the general practice says. Let's go ahead and hire, right? Now, the critical question comes, of course they do have all of these 3 persons, 3 headcounts. They have their own expertise, they have deployed earlier, they will go ahead and deploy the same thing again, right? Now, the second conditioning statement which your company has for the SAP deployment, since that is a ERP enterprise-wide deployment, you have given a timeline of 6 months. A timeline of 6 months only. For the data center setup, that is requiring from the ground up, including constructions, you already have some infrastructure which you have identified with the provider, right? And then you have gone ahead and started doing the constructions, purchasing the hardwares, putting the softwares, creation of the entire data center. So you have given the second person, the second project manager, a timeline of 9 months. 9 months for the data center build. And for the IT security, the security operations center, you have given this project manager only 6, not 3 months, because security operations center is a complicated exercise. Say for example, you have given 6 months, right? So for the SAP person, you have given not 6, say for example, you have given 4 months, right? So for the first person, first project manager, which is this person, you have given the 6 months for the SAP deployment by referring to the conditioning statement that this person has deployed SAP earlier. He or she has a track record of deploying SAP. The second person has a track record of deploying data center. You have given 9 months. You are budgeting an entire costing is being specific within that 9-month period. And of course, you are expecting that after 9 months, the data center will go live. Similarly, for SAP, after 6 months, the SAP ERP platform will go live. And then similarly, for the IT security, after 4 months, the IT security operations center will go live, right? So this is what is the expectation you have given. Now the question comes, which is the biggest question. The biggest question comes that what is the guarantee? Although all these 3 persons, although all these 3 project managers, they have a track record, the previous track record of deploying SAP data center and IT security SOC, separate, right? What is the guarantee that that person, all of these 3 persons, will meet the target line, the time duration that you have specified, 6 months, 9 months and 4 months, and then finish the project on time? What is the guarantee of it? Where is the guarantee? Who will provide the guarantee? On what conditioning statement that deliverable guarantee will come up. The person may have knowledge about SAP, which is a work domain. It is a work domain, right? Work domain. The person has knowledge about this work domain, no problem at all, right? Person have knowledge about data center. Person have knowledge about IT security. SOC have previously deployed it. But what is the guarantee that all of these three people which are being hired as a project manager will be able to meet the targeted timeline of deliverables without any further delay, without any breach? That is the primary question. The deliverable guarantee, that is the primary question, which is why the project manager is being hired, which is why a project manager is a management coordination role. It is not a technical role, it is not a non-technical role, it is not an architectural role, it is not an architect, it is not a technology manager, it is not a database manager, it is not a SAP manager, it is not a data center manager, it is not a security operations center manager, but a project manager is a project manager, a coordination role, a container role. And this is what I'm going to explain to all of you in further detail. This is for technology, right? Let's take the example of non-technology, which is mostly into the construction domain. Let me just wipe off this detail here. So my board is homemade. I will try to arrange a professional board, but right now it is homemade. So you'll have to have some inconvenience, but that's fine. So we will try to have the session in a better board next time. Right? So let's go to the non-tech vertical, right? So when we say about the non-tech, I'm just writing it bigger so that you understand. When it is talking about non-tech, mostly MEP, construction, so construction, we all know it is all about, buildings, constructions, shop constructions, right? Shop constructions, park constructions, where beautiful trees and all of those, park construction, public park and all, right? Park constructions, then various kind of other constructions that you can consider, right? These are all physical builds, basically, right? Even the data center construction also comes as long as that is warehouse constructions, right? Mostly in the shops, where beautiful shops are there, which has been created along with beautiful architectures, right? So these are all hard assets. These are all nothing but hard assets, construction, right? MEP, constructions, non-tech, it's all about hard asset. It is a hard asset domain. Hard asset domain. These are all hard assets. Now, very, very clearly, a project manager who has, I have done project management, means I have been, I have deployed projects, I have completed projects, programs for a very long time, almost 15 years, in multiple domains of information technology verticals, right? Various, in IT, there are multiple sub-segments, security, database, infra, all of those things. I don't want to speak about that in this session. But there are 15 years of my own experience into technology, project management, delivered critical to critical projects, super critical projects, escalated projects, time-bound projects, neck-to-neck running time, no buffer, nothing, right? So that kind of burning projects which I have deployed. And whenever I personally go ahead and try to find out a project or try to apply in a project manager job in the non-tech division, in the MEP division, my application gets rejected. And this is similarly happening for most of the project managers. In technology, whoever is there in IT, in project management, delivering project, As a project manager, if they go ahead and try a job in MEP and constructions, they will not get it. Nobody will call them because they, of course, the referential artifact, right? Even in technology also, if a person have not deployed, the previous example, if we go ahead, if I have not deployed SAP, practically I'm saying I have not deployed SAP in my life till now. I worked with SAP little bit, but I have not deployed SAP entire platform. I have never got a chance, but at the same time I have deployed throughout most of the platforms in IT security, in IT infra. Right? Now, since I have done in that particular domain, if I apply for a SAP project manager, technical, I will say work domain references. Once again, this is something very interesting, and depending on this only this entire discussion is happening. So work domain references. This is work domain references. Depending on work domain references, I will not be hired for the SAP job because the HRs, the functional managers, and the hiring managers, they will see somebody who have done SAP earlier. Although I may be a very good project manager, I have finished critical projects on very minimal time, but I will not be hired because there is a referential work domain referentials coming into the picture. This is similarly in the MEP and constructions. As a technology guy, as a technology person, project management guy, if I go ahead and apply in MEP and constructions, I will not be even called for the first round interview because they will definitely see the work domain references. They will look for the project manager who have deployed or who has been or who have done project management, who have deployed projects related to constructions, constructing buildings, constructing houses, constructing shops, constructing parks, right? They will refer to those project managers. In oil and gas, yes, there is another segment. I am in UAE, oil and gas. Why did I? Petrochemical industries, right? Petrochemical. So they will be petrochem. The hiring parties will be looking for the project manager who have worked on oil and gas earlier as a project manager. They have an understanding about how the infrastructure operate, and then they will say, okay, let me hire this guy. Okay, so they will not be even looking into the project manager who has done project management, very good quality project management in IT. And then similarly vice versa for MEP construction project managers, if they want to try their luck, they don't have a job and they want to try their luck in IT, saying that yes, the person has done 20 years of very good deliverable in top class companies and top class projects in MEP and constructions, oil and gas. Right now, maybe he's not getting a job like me. Right now, I'm looking for a job, right? So, if that person tried in the technology division and they said that I want to try, I have a track record of delivering critical projects for last 20 years, hire me. The IT guys will say, no, you are into MEP, I don't want you, right? So, this entire referential work domain, referential subject is creating the much needed barrier between the movements of project managers from non-tech to tech, tech to non-tech, from constructions to IT, IT to constructions. This is all happening because of work domain references. However, the world has been running in this work domain references because that is how the business has been going on. It is not a wrong practice. I am not saying that it is a wrong practice. As long as the business is doing well, as long as the work is getting done, nothing is wrong, basically, right? So if a project manager for the SAP, the previous one, or the MEP, the person has been hired with the previous MEP experiences, they have omitted good experienced project managers from the other domains. They have hired someone who has probably 2 years experience with MEP, have worked with certain MEP projects earlier, and they have omitted very good project managers who has worked with big firms and big companies, but not in the MEP, in the non-MEP domain. They have omitted those candidates, and this 2 years experienced project manager is being hired because the project manager has the reference work domain, and that person has successfully completes the projects on time without any escalation, without any risk. Very good. Business is very happy, and that is not bad. right? But at the same time, we need to also understand that project manager, the role itself, it is actually not related to the work domain references, right? Project manager role is a container role, which I have stated in my headline, and this container role is coming from the perspective of the list that I have given: technology, tools, infra, manpower, logistics, procurement, and finance, right? It's a coordination role. So we will omit out, let me just go ahead, wipe out this. We will omit out all the work domain references, and we will take it on a general, perceptions. Not work domain references, but general perceptions as a project manager. Now, before we go ahead and start that, I would like to state, for the project manager, whenever the credentials are being asked for a project manager, the credentials for a project manager is mostly PMP, right? Yeah, let's say PMP, PMI, PMP, right? PMI, PMP. So whoever have completed PMI, PMP, I'm sure this is a very generic certification for project manager, PMI, PMP, right? Whoever has completed PMI, PMP never talks about any technology. It doesn't even specify a single word about technology verticals, whether that is information technology, whether that is non-information technology, robotics, constructions, oil and gas, marine technology, non-technology divisions, any divisions, medical, whichever industry it is. It never talks about any industrial verticals. It never talks about any tool-specific information, technology-specific information on which the project manager is being stated. No, it talks about standards, right? It talks about the best practices. So when we talk about the PMP, PMI, whoever has completed, it talks about standards. Okay, it talks about certain protocols. It talks about certain best practices. It talks about standards. It talks about standards. It talks about protocols. It talks about best practices. It doesn't talk about any technology specific. Why? What does it say? In short, one-line statement, if anyone asks me, what does PMP, PMI specify? How to effectively do or how to effectively execute a project and finish it effectively, efficiently. That's all about the PMP, right? It is a general container. That means it is a container. The PM, the project manager, is a container which can provide service to any industry and technology and non-technology vertical wherever they want that job to be done. Depending on what? Depending on one single word, which is coordination, right? So a project manager, in short, is a very good coordinator, right? Very good coordinator. A project manager is a very good coordinator. This is the first primary and very, very critical attribute of a project manager. Coordination. A project manager is supposed to connect point A to point B, point B to point C, point C to point D, and then get the jobs, get the task within the company execute. The project manager never, put the nail on the wall. A project manager never installs a software for that project. A project manager do not build the server. A project manager do not dig the soil. A project manager do not do the cementing. A project manager does the coordination among the all effective resources which has been utilized for the project, that includes manpower and the other resources. And according to the plan, according to the management expectation, according to the timeline, the project manager is the person who basically get the job done overall. That is what is a project manager. Today, that coordination, that particular attribute which is there, that coordination attribute is the main and core skill of a very good project manager. And if that project manager, if that person who has been doing project management for 20 years, 30 years, maybe 2 years, 1 year, doesn't matter. If that project manager, he or she may have excellent certification, technology certification, excellent non-tech certifications. He or she is a BTech, so that BTech in chemical, BTech in mechanical, BTech in IT, BTech in electronics, right? All those high-end certifications. TOGAF certification as an architect, TOGAF certification is there, the project manager. Those things are practically not required, as long as that project manager do not know and understand how best to coordinate, how best to connect all the resources within the project and meet the targeted deadline, get the job done. As long as that person is not able to do this, rest of the certifications does not matter. A project manager, if in the first example which I have given, to build a security operations center, a project manager will not build a SIEM platform. The project manager will not install the SAP or configure the SAP servers. Project manager will not do that. The project manager in the MEP will not, will not be pulling out the instruments and then playing with the excavators, digging soil. Project manager will not do that. There are people, there are manpower, specific skills which are part of the project. Those manpowers will execute that. But the project manager has to make sure that all of these components are being connected together. And this is why a very good project manager, since I have stated that project manager is a container role, a very good project manager who has an excellent track record of completing project for a very long time, on time, of course with not falsification of data, correctly, with due references. Once you go ahead and look for that particular person for employment, you take references, you cross-check references, you find out whether that person has actually finished the project in 6 months, with due references, due cross-verification, validation. You understand that yes, the person has delivered very big projects for a very long time. That person is an excellent coordinator. Without the coordination, that person would not have completed project, because every project has their own challenges. Every project is unique, whether that is technology, whether that is non-technology, because in each and every project, the components are all different. You will end up working with different kind of people in each and every project. In this project, you have Tom, Dick and Harry. In the next project, you have Ramesh, Suresh and Jadab. In the next project, you have Ahmad, Ismail and Ramesh. Different people, right? So you will be landing up yourself among different kind of people every time you handle new project, different project. Whether that is technology, non-technology, doesn't matter. This place, that place, doesn't matter. Every time there are new, it's an unique. Each project is an unique project. And from that reference, if a person has a very good track record of executing and completing project for a very long time, that person is an excellent coordinator. It is up to that company, whichever company, whether that person has worked in IT, non-IT, MEP, construction, doesn't matter. If that person has that credibility of deploying or deployed the project for a longer time with the due verification and everything which I have stated about, you can hire them for the MEP as well as you can hire them for IT. You can hire them in any part of the work wherever there is a need for project manager. there is one checkpoint which is very, very important here, which I would like to, take you further. I'll let you know about that, right? Now, when we talk about a very good project manager, let me just wipe off this board. When you talk about a very good project manager, say for example, I have done some of the non-IT projects also where I had to work very closely with logistics and all, right? So I'll take some reference from that and I'll let you know. Now, for a very good project manager, very good project manager, let's say PM, for a very good project manager from any vertical it is. Once again, I'm saying I'm not taking any specific vertical here, whether tech, non-tech, MEP, construction, oil and gas, doesn't matter. Okay, IT, very good project manager. The very good project manager, that person will work with technology, will work with tools, will work with infra, will work with manpower, will work with logistics, will work with procurement, and will work with finance. I'll give you an example because this arrows is very generic wherever, if you go to Google and all, you'll find out all of this, right? So I'll give you an example of one of my past projects in UAE only. One of my past project, a very small project. It just came by as a flyby. Sometime within companies you perform flyby projects. Okay, management need your support and you go ahead and give it. In one of such activities, I had to deploy certain scanner. It's a custom scan and it's a custom scanner for the finance invoices, right? It's a custom scanner. So what I'll just tell you, I did not have that particular area information, but I had my 2-3 engineers with me, so which has helped me to understand that, and even including the vendor also. So basically, what happened is that I will explain you that, and then you will understand what I'm trying to say, right? Now, the requirement was that I'm taking. This is a very small project, by the way. This is something which is, in most of the companies it is negligible, but as I stated, every activity provide you the right kind of understanding if you want to look into it, right? So this is what I'm trying to explain. So basically this is a scanner, okay, and there are finance team. There are finance team sitting here. People are doing their work, okay, in their computers. They have all kind of paper invoices keeps on coming. Yeah, loads of papers keeps on coming all the time. They want that to be electronically transferred, right? But to the right location, to the right folder, right location for the right kind of people. There are technical specification to that. And whenever, I'm sure that most of you, whoever have good connections with finance team, you know that whenever they keeps on processing that information, it is not a daily kind of thing, but there are bulk requests keeps on coming from time to time. There is a period on which finance team operate with a very heavy load. During those kind of load, the manual scanning is something which is very difficult, so automatic scanning is just feed up some 300 pages of vouchers, and then those vouchers will be scanned and it will go to the respective locations, right? One person just putting up, it's not possible. It's a tremendous labor. So automation is there, and this is what the requirement was. But there were, all of these scanners were supposed to be put in multiple countries, locations. So, in UAE, few other countries were there. I cannot tell you about that information, but few other countries, it was multi-located requirement. So when the scanner requirement came from the finance team, I had a very short term of around 15 to 1 month timeline, and then they had a major activity coming when lots of vouchers, lots of financial documents were supposed to be scanned. They required that for business requirement. It was a pure business requirement, so we had to run. And then it was on the beginning, RFI, RFP, all of those things, you understand, right? So 15 days lead time, 15 days to 1 month lead time is kind of not possible. People will say, no, it's not possible. Taking the device to multiple countries, multiple sites, not possible. But why not we start somewhere? We have to start. So we started. We had good vendors, who has been providing services for a long time. They had good reputations. I as a project manager during that time, I had to go ahead, connect with the vendors, get the devices on the site in our office. There were one central party from the finance guys who were the decision maker for confirming, saying that yes, that device is going to work. So I had to get in touch with the vendor. Through the procurement team, we followed the respective all due necessary protocol. And then, of course, the procurement and rest of the teams will do their job, right? This is where the procurement team, they will do their job. This is their job. But as a project manager, I have to ensure that the things run faster like this. So once all those procurement initiations, communications, etc., all those appropriate protocols have been followed, that is a completely different chapter. If we talk, then it will go for 7-8 hours basically, right? So these devices have been bought. I had to work very closely with the vendor to get the test machine, to take that test machine. First of all, to check the machine whether it was able to meet. There were few changes of the machine versions and all, and then a particular version has been confirmed after due check with the finance guys. They have checked it personally, putting the slips, and then things were getting stored automatically in the backend to the backend storage. Good thing, they said that okay, this is what we need. There is minor changes here and there, configuration. You guys have to do it. So those information has gone to the vendor, and then vendor. So I went ahead, said it was a good deal. Money were very less because devices are less. So procurement process says that follow it fast. Fast track processes are there. Sometimes when the business need, it's a business need. So business when the business need is there. When I am hungry, I'm going to the restaurant. I'll just eat food, right? It's very simple because I'm hungry, right? So this is what the simple mechanism. There is no politics, no bureaucracy, nothing in that. I'm hungry. I'll go to the restaurant. I'll tell, please give me one plate of rice. I'm very hungry, right? So this is what it is. So we got the device. We got a test device so that the finance team can check that. Check that device. They could use that. So we put that device in their desk, connected. They used it for a few days. They said no problem. I think we are good. Then on the back end, I have been connecting with the vendor team, the vendors. I did not write vendor here. So vendor teams, and then because it was a multiple location, the device, they also don't have this kind of devices, right? It was a very specific device, but somehow it was there, 1 or 2 copies. So they had to get that from the OEM and all. So they were arranging that device. We had very tight timeline. The device had to go. It has to be logistics. The logistic piece. The device had to go to multiple locations. Again, all the coordination. I had to go ahead. I had to connect with procurement. Procurement release. Right? Release the letter of award, LOA. Right? Then the invoice. PO. PO has to be released. Purchase order. So all of those things had to go. Purchase order released to the vendor, and vendor says, okay, now I'm doing it. Don't worry. Purchase order is going. So all of those things it was all project manager and the vendor team, and I had to go ahead and do all the connections with the finance. Finance guys, they were busy with their own things, operation. The PO has gone to you. For the PO approval, it takes lots of time, many days. You have to run between many people. So who is going to do it? If you just put it on the system and leave it, the things will not be working. The project manager has to run. So I had to run. I did not have time. I had to run to each of the person's desk, sit there for time, 30 minutes, 1 hour, waiting for somebody. Please do it. Get the job done. Right? Finance guys, please, sir, it is your requirement. Sign it. Right? Give the approval so that we can release the PO. Right? So it is a laborious task which the project manager has to do it. If the project manager keeps on sitting on the desk, the things will not happen. At the same time, it requires lots of patience, plenty of patience. The people who have done project management for a long time, they do understand this. These are practically very big. I can say it's an individual challenges. Not everybody can sustain, right? But because this is the reason why certain project managers, they finish projects on time, before time, and certain project managers, they cannot finish on time. They cannot. Sometimes even the project is on hold because they could not do it. They leave it in between. These are all the factors which is coordination. As I stated, technical knowledge, non-technical knowledge, the domain-based knowledge do not help. In this scenario, I never had the knowledge about this scanner, but I got it. I checked with the vendors. They explained the things. Whatever is needed as a project manager, we have to understand, we have to learn. Okay? It may be YouTube, it may be sitting with the vendor, it may be sitting with some technician, asking them that, please tell me how this is operating. I just want to know because we are working on this project, right? So then the devices came. Few devices directly went from the vendor side to the remote country, other country sites where the finance teams were there. They were using it. There were again the project, as a project manager, I had to go ahead, connect with those guys, and then who is going to be setting the machines up, right? The details and all. Those were being sent through one of my technology manager, okay, to them, and then people were being aligned there. That so and so Falana guy will help you, the finance guys, right? This finance manager over here, they were providing the information about the other finance manager. Okay, this finance manager on this particular country will be receiving these devices. So all that coordination, logistics, whether the device, few devices came to our office, and then we had to send it through our internal protocol. Okay, we did that. So there were multiple channels. There were multiple activities, and as a project manager, I'm the person who had to do it. Something like my own house is getting constructed, and I'm running from pillar to post to get it done on time. If necessary, I'm calling the contractor. If necessary, I'm running after the things. If necessary, I will pull up the device from here and there and then keep it there. Okay? But obviously, I will not be doing the configuration on this particular device because I don't know that configuration. I'm not supposed to do it, but there are technical person who is going to do it. They're expert in doing it, so I'll ensure that the technical person is being called in to get the job done. Okay? For each of the procurement, each of the logistics, manpower, which manpower will do what? Okay? By doing what activity, which manpower, what infra is required, which tools are required. Okay, this is just a simple example where in 15-20 days, I can finish this deployment in a timeline if my memory goes. 1 month we could not do it. I think it took a little bit more than that because getting this asset from the OEM, it takes time. So we had to follow up a lot. It was not vendor's mistake, it was not even our mistake. It was a short time, lots of things had to be done, but it was a small project, by the way. It was a very, very small project. But when the time is less and then work is more, you get the heat. You have to run from morning till evening. So I was running after people as a project manager, getting the request being taken even to the finance team, the people who were looking for that product, they were needing that product. I had to remind them for the approval also. That is how it is. The world is always like that, okay? Because the finance team were busy with their operations. They will not remember this is one of the projects, that's fine for them, okay? They will probably look for this device when the vouchers were, bunch of vouchers would have come to their desk and they would have said, where is that machine? IT team were supposed to provide us this machine, right? Where is that machine during that time? Not before 7 days. That are we having that machine already in place? They will not, because they will not think about it. They will say, I am finance guys. I just raised my request with the IT. IT will handle it. If tomorrow my deliverable is getting delayed because of IT not delivering the product, I will escalate on that. That's how the world operates. That's how the world thinks about it. You cannot change people. You cannot change how the system operates. And this is where the project managers, people like me, people like others, there are many, many very good project managers in the world, throughout the world, who keeps on modulating ourselves, because we do the project for the company, but at the end of the day, we do the project something like it is my own house getting built. And I need to run from morning till evening. Throughout the night, I have to think about which activity need to be done, where it need to be done. Okay, it is like that. Otherwise, the project will not finish. And this is just an example about a technology vertical domain only, but it was having certain requirement. Now requirement related to finance, procurement, all and all. Now, in each and every project, if you are dealing the project from day one, okay, when we are talking about IT and all, for IT, this is very important. For IT, technology and all. For technology, the good part in project management, the good part in project management is that the technology backend platform will be ready. Something like they will buy the software. Something like, if we talk about SAP deployment, SAP, when the company is deploying SAP, okay, I'll take the example of SAP. Although I have not deployed, I have worked in SAP. I have not deployed, but I will tell you, the example of SAP. When the SAP or IT security, SAP or IT security products are getting deployed within your company and you are hiring a project manager, you will not hire a project manager till the time these products are procured. Most of the time the companies, they don't want to invest money in the project manager before these products are being procured. So all the procurement discussions and everything, your functional management team will take care of it, and once the product is there, once the software is there, once the license is there, once the technology team says, okay, now call the project manager, they will hire some project manager from the market, they will get it done, right? Now, when the project manager comes, this is the good part, is that in IT, the project manager comes and the project manager will find out the software, the basically the technology and the tool and the manpower and infra. Everything is there. Everything is there. The project manager has to just connect manpower, infra, tools and tech, and then create a project plan and go from there. So if you say whether that is IT security, SAP deployment, database deployment, DR deployment, all of these things are practically easy for the project manager to handle, because the project manager, we already have technology, tools, infra and manpower present, and then after that the project manager will be hired by the company. In many cases the companies will have existing project managers, so they will be engaged from the day one of procurement and logistics and all of these things, right? Procurement for IT and all, and then during the procurement they will go through RFI, RFP. I have personally gone through it while deploying one of my past IT security operations center. That's a different story, we can speak later, but during that time the project manager will work. But that kind of role, mostly the management or business expect functional managers, not project manager, right? The functional, say for IT security, I was a functional security manager. I have executed the project as a project manager, no doubt at all, but I was a functional security manager during that time, right? So project manager for technology IT is a role which they will be hiring mostly after the technology, tools, infra and manpower is already available. So it is an easy job, right? But when we speak about a data center build, I am taking data center build as an example, and after that I will take the example of a building construction, MEP, purely. When you are talking about a DC build, data center build, when you are talking about a data center build, during that time, data center build is consisting of two parts. One is IT, one is non-IT. That means which is building the infra. So you might be getting the warehouse from any of the infrastructure which is being given, right? And then as a project manager, the person has to go ahead and connect with vendor, connect with finance, connect with procurement, connect with logistics and everything to ensure that the infrastructure, the base physical, hard asset infrastructure. This is the hard asset. This is hard asset. The hard asset infrastructure is being built, and then once you go to the hard asset, then you go for IT, which is also servers and all hard asset, and then after that you come into soft asset, which is nothing but your software installation and all of this cabling and all. So it is a pure mixture of construction and pure mixture of IT, construction IT together into the DC build. And this is where the project manager, the person who is building it, that person has to be so well coordinated, so well experienced. In case if the person do not have experience on the construction side, no problem, okay? The person, of course, if somebody has worked as a project manager for a long, they know exactly how to acquire the knowledge which is required for that project to be done effectively. Whether that requires them to sit with somebody for a long time, few hours, 30 minutes every day, go to the internet, get the data, speak to somebody, speak to this person, speak to that person, get the information, they will do it, that project manager will do it. If you put me into an MEP or construction project and tell that Bipin, go ahead and let's work on this particular building, I will get to know, I will understand how civil engineering is being happening. Okay, I will speak to the labor, I will speak to the engineer, I will speak to the other stakeholders, other people who are working on the project being assigned. I'll go to the YouTube, I'll try to use all the available resources to understand what are required to build a build. It's a building, build a building. Or maybe in oil and gas, if you put me up as a project manager in oil and gas, I will acquire that information, whatever is required. in the beginning, not the whole thing, but whatever is required, and from there the pitching will go. But during that time, since I have not worked on construction earlier, since I have not worked on MEP earlier, since I have not worked on oil and gas, I'll be careful because I do not have that domain knowledge. Okay, so I will be careful in taking decision. I'll double check on the information which my resources will tell me, saying no sir, we should do this in this way, no sir. So I will double verify to ensure that they are not giving me the wrong information, right? If I have an information, or if I have the knowledge about that vertical, then I don't need to worry much. But if I do not, it is my first job. Say tomorrow you give me an MEP construction job, project manager job, I will take 2-3 days to understand about the things better, and then from there every day I am doing the project manager coordination, all the coordination activities and everything, whatever is required. And in addition to that, I will also keep on learning internally, saying that okay, they are doing this, okay, there is a regulation required on this side. Oh, okay, good. I will start taking notes for my own work, for my own knowledge, for the confirmation from within me, saying that yes, I am doing it right. If that requires me to speak to somebody from the existing PM, someone who has very good experience into the construction, I'll do it. That is my homework, which I will do it as a project manager, to ensure that my work is not getting impacted, so that my name is not getting impacted, right? So this is where for the DC build, you can see it is a clear non-IT and IT composition work, and this is where the project manager has to, connect with vendors, has to run from pillar to post to do, purchase, build the entire infrastructure, get the servers on time, because the project management biggest challenge is time. Project managers are always running because they don't have time. We don't have time. Time is not there. We have our deadline always. It is not an operation job. We are always running. We are always having that time ticking in our brain, saying that yes, this project need to finish in next 2 weeks, need to finish in next 3 weeks, and I have so many pending activity, I have so many risks open, which I will be answerable. Tomorrow, any management, if a project is not being done because of certain resourcing absence, whether that resourcing is a technology, tools, infra, manpower, logistics, procurement, finance, or vendor, any kind of resourcing, if that because of which there is an open risk and the project did not get, or project does not get closed on time, the management will come, everybody will come saying that this project manager could not do the job. Every project manager knows about it. Whoever is working in whichever industry, every project manager knows if tomorrow the work will not get done, the project manager will get blamed. We are ready, mentally ready for that. We always are. This is how the project managers are being built. This is what time teaches us. We don't get emotional, saying that somebody comes and sends us an escalation email saying that you did not do your job correctly. Yes, I know I have done my milestones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that also any functional management team, anybody can come not from the project manager. They can say you did not do this. It was not part of the SOP. It was not part of the SOW. They will not listen. They will just give a simple statement. You did not deliver properly. Properly is a very, very generic 10,000 feet statement, okay? But they would not like, they will not appreciate also, no problem. We are project managers. We are not hungry for appreciations. We are hungry for one thing only, which is to get the project done on time, which gives us the individual satisfaction that yes, I have invested so much of time along with so many people, okay? And then this project is complete today. I'm happy. That is the satisfaction which keeps us driving forward, right? So DC build, the person, whether that person has worked in IT, the project manager, whether that person has not worked in IT but previously worked for MEP, if you give that person, if that person is a very good track record project manager, you can give that person the work of the DC build. If the person has been an IT security like me, IT security project managers, okay, if you give me a work of a SAP project management, I will do it. No doubt at all. You don't have to worry about the deliverables, because we have delivered. Project manager is a container role. It is not a work domain reference role. If I have knowledge, on IT security, good. If I don't have knowledge on SAP, no problem, I'll take it. There is always one first project. That first project is always there, right? After that first project, in the next project, the company will say, oh, okay, Bipin Bargoi has deployed SAP, good. But there has to be one day, the first day, where people will say Bipin Bargoi did not deploy SAP, but Bipin Bargoi has deployed 100 other projects for last 15 years. He knows exactly how the work has to be done. Wherever the knowledge has to be given, he will acquire. Wherever the assistance is required, no problem at all, right? So this similar concept, if we take the IT project manager, okay, I will go to the MEP and constructions. MEP and constructions, there are two components in MEP and constructions, as well as in gas and petrochemical. These are all very, what do you call as, very high, regulatory industry verticals. Very high regulatory. Regulations are very, very high. Government regulation, industrial regulation, so many regulations are there. And these regulations are very important for any project manager to understand that. Yes, that I totally agree. So if a IT person, IT security person is have knowledge about the IT security regulations, similarly for an MEP, construction and gas and petrochemical, project manager or the functional manager, they have very good understanding about what are the governmental regulations are running these particular projects. And that knowledge is very important. For any project manager, say today, if you go ahead and give me the responsibility for executing MEP project, my first job is to understand. Because I'm an IT guy, I'm a technology guy, I will go into MEP and then I'll construct a building. My first job is about regulatory. I need to understand what are the regulatory requirements. Okay, for that, if I need to study, if I need to collect the documents, if I need to do throughout the night at my home, okay, for 2 days, study, prepare, understand the things, watch YouTube, reference article, this, that, I need to understand. I have to prepare myself. As a project manager, I have to spend time. I cannot simply jump in. If I jump in, I will miss into the regulatory, and that particular area is difficult. Similarly, MEP regulatory, if they go into IT, the project manager, an IT company offer them and then tell them that, okay, let's go ahead and put up a GRC, GRC structure within the company. Okay, find out whatever softwares, find out whatever hardwares you need, find out whatever resourcing you need, but ensure that the GRC is compliant as per the industry regulation, as per the country regulation. That is where also the regulations are coming. So in MEP, the person has to have understanding about the regulation. But once more, I need to state this: regulations are not one day. Regulations are very big information. They require somebody. If one person from the MEP says that I am an expert in regulation, that means that person is basically, that person have spent many months or maybe more than a year in understanding those regulations, because regulations you cannot learn in one day. You can definitely understand from the top side, but if you go inside and then start understanding it on a micro level, it takes plenty of time, right? But still, construction do not happen in one day. Petrochemical construction, MEP projects and construction, it takes time, months of time. Okay, so as a project manager, if I'm a smart project manager, if I know exactly, if I am very good coordination guy, I know whom to connect, how to connect, I will collect information. I will not even depend only on YouTube, only on document, but I will ask the colleagues. I will understand how the things are happening, how this is getting built, what are the approvals that you require. Note down and then cross reference. It all depends on person to person, right? So as a project manager, if you hire me into the MEP, and then if you tell that, okay, let's go ahead and do this construction, you will be delivering this particular building, or you will be delivering this particular units, housing units, okay, start working. Then as a project manager, I will spend my initial few days to understand and then communicate with all the resourcing, understand what are the basic shelling is required, okay, for me to work on the project management, and rest of the things I have done throughout my life, right? The entire coordination piece which I have stated, connecting with vendors, connecting with finance, connecting with procurement, those things I will take care of it. Now, the biggest requirement in case of IT, as I stated that in case of IT, what happens is the technology, tools, infra and manpower is there. But whenever you are going to non-IT in MEP and construction as well as in gas and petrochemical, the ball game changes, because those are hard asset construction, hard asset, manufacturing division. So hard asset manufacturing division, sometime you'll get tech, sometime you'll not get tech, sometime you'll get tools. All of these components, technology, tool, infra, sometime you'll have some manpower, sometime manpower is not there. So that means In IT, you don't have to run for this thing because you already have these people there working in the company. But in case of MEP and construction, gas and petrochemical, you will have to even run for these guys. Okay, today you might be getting manpowers, say 50 manpowers are constructing. Tomorrow 50 might not be there, or maybe after 1 week some 10 guys are left because their visa has expired. The company, the body shopping company did not send them, saying that no, they are not eligible for work. 10% gone. Immediately when the 10%, 10 laborers are gone out of 50 labor, you are being left with 40. You are not able to achieve the targets. So you will basically, as a MEP and construction, and as a petrochemical and petrochemical and gas and all, oil and gas segment, you will be running more actually. As a project manager, you will have more workload in coordination. So you will end up coordinating about your logistics also, about all the whatever material that you will be requiring for construction and all. So those material you will be getting it from the vendors. Now vendors might say that okay, tomorrow it is coming, but tomorrow it has not done. No sir, it did not come. We missed this, blah 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 blah. All excuses. Your product is not there, and your labels are there. Label says, sir, in what are we going to work on? Because these products are supposed to come. Cement is supposed to come. Cement is not here. Sand is supposed to come here. Sand is not here. We need irons. Lots of irons today. There is no iron. Right? Where is the iron shipment? So for a project manager who is working in the MEP and construction, they have to do extensive amount of coordination. Although I have not worked in MEP earlier, but I can envision that because I have done excellent coordinations, very deep level coordination in many escalated projects, which were the projects on hold, projects which were very complicated, like they were messed project, not messed up project, but messed project, like they were connecting from here to here, here to here, here to here. It's too difficult, too difficult architectures. You have to connect with plenty of people, plenty of understanding. So I can definitely envision in case of MEP and construction and petrochemical, oil and gas, the kind of effort is required for manpower, for infra and all of these tools and all. You will have, the project manager will have tremendous amount of effort for the coordination needed in order to achieve the timeline. The person will be running from pillar to post from morning till evening till night. That person has to be ready. Now, if you are hiring an IT project manager, of course, somebody have tried it and then they said, yeah, we'll do the coordination and all. You go ahead and hire an IT project manager, technology project manager into MEP, and then that person has been in the habit of sitting in front of laptop, giving order, email and all. That person will run away in probably 1 week of time saying, no, I cannot do it, because every day you are going to the site, every day you are talking to each and everybody in the system in order to get every day's job done. So you are basically having a fight every day. Fighting a fist, I can say, right? So that is something which is not for everyone, but there are many very excellent person who basically can do excellent amount of coordination, and they are ready for the level. Whatever effort is required. Okay, I have to work for 10 hours, I will work for 10 hours. I have to work for 8 hours, I have to work for 8 hours. Okay, good. I was a technology project manager, now I am going into MEP. Good. It is giving me an opportunity to learn the MEP segment, it is giving me an opportunity to learn the construction segment, oil and gas segment. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, there are people who are ready to give that much of physical labor. It requires physical labor. You have to run after people, run from this place to that place, run from one floor to another floor, run after people, sit with them for some time, spending time, lots of patience required, lots of physical labor required. It's not an easy job, right? So, but there are people who can do it. So it is again going back that the project manager is not a work domain specific role. Project manager is a container role. Okay, these are all containers. A project manager do all the coordinations on these containers, technology, tool, infra, manpower, logistics, procurement, finance, vendor. All these containers, the project manager keeps on running like this. One to another, another to another, another to another, another to another, pulling up all the resources together and then getting the job done. That's the project manager, right? That is why it is being said as it's a container role. And a project manager from technology can work in non-technology, then technology, MEP, to construction, construction to IT, no problem, as long as that project manager has a very accredited, validated references from past saying that they have worked on the critical project, they have a very good clear understanding, right, about the coordination, they know how the things happens, how the flow happens between all of these components of the project's executions. They have a very clear understanding. They are ready to run from pillar to post, not sitting in their AC offices, sending email and then roaming around having nice cup of tea and coffee. No, if they're ready from morning till evening, running with people, getting the job done on the floor, on the side, they can finish your work, any project work on time without failure, as long as you are providing them with the right kind of support. You have to, as a management also, you have to provide them the right kind of support. So once again, project manager is a container role, and this particular session is for everybody. I'm sure many project managers will be very happy to see this session being explained, but this session is specifically for human resource and hiring management teams. You can have a very clear understanding now that what kind of people you have to look for as a project manager if you are looking to make your clients happy to finish their projects on time with that person, instead of coming back after a few months saying that no, this guy could not deliver, give me another person. So there are lots of problems happen. So it is always better to understand about the project management, and this is what is about a project manager, which is a container role, and you can definitely select. Post listening this session, you will have a very clear understanding, and you will be able to take the appropriate judgment in selecting the right person for the right job. But it is never harming, as long as people like me on today, I am looking for, of course, an opportunity to join a job. I am here in Dubai, Sharjah. Once again, I am an immediate joiner. And then if you say that, Bipin, you have done 15 years in technology, project management, why not you deliver our MEP projects? You know what about the coordination, you are ready to run from pillar to post. Yes, I can do it. And as an HR and a hiring management, you should be also ready to consider candidates who are willing to spend time, give their effort, right? There are many people who are ready to give their effort. It is not about that somebody is 30 years, they have the body strength, they will do it. Somebody is 50 years, they don't have the body strength, they will not do it. It doesn't go like that, right? So if a person is willing to do it, they will do it. If a person is not willing to do it, they will not do it. So I hope this session has been very informational. Once again, I am Bipin Bargwai from Dubai, Sharjah. I am a techno management business leader providing services in multiple segments of it. Any equivalent opportunity where my expertise can provide support to, serve your business, please feel free, connect. Thank you very much once again for listening to this session, and we will connect next in our next practical discussion, whiteboard discussion session. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, everyone, and we'll speak soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.